Folks, we're back with another consumer alert. This is going to be the 5 worst bicycle shops in San Jose. And with the weather turning, everybody's getting back on their bike. Let's avoid these 5 shops. Now, the first one is Reentry. Now, Reentry is interesting because it is owned by several professors that work in space science at the university. And what they've done is used materials that have either fallen off of rockets or were purposefully jettisoned by rockets in and out of the Earth's atmosphere, and they make bicycle parts. They make bicycles out of the parts. So you're talking about a space bike. And the only problem I have, guys, is that they're trying to attract an academic crowd, and yet the bikes are $7,000. Now, I don't know about you, but I know a few academics that maybe make that kind of money. They can afford a $7,000 bike, but I can't. And I think it's kind of a mismatch of market and message. And I just don't appreciate when I go in and ask for a reasonably priced bike of $200, and the guy behind the counter who's a freshman, not even an upperclassman at the university, starts laughing at me in my face to the point where spit is coming off his lips, flying through the air. He's laughing so hard. So, guys, I'm just going to have to cut those guys right out and say they're number 1 on my list of the 5 worst bike shops in San Jose. Now, the second one on our list is Filthiness. Now, Filthiness is going for one of these opposite vibes where if you've ever been to there used to be a nightclub chain called Filthy McNasty. So it's one of these kind of approaches, which does appeal, frankly, to many college kids. They like that little bit anti-establishment kind of a profile. So Filthiness Bike Shops is going for that vibe. But the problem is you still have to have working bikes, and theirs don't, because they actually are filthy. I walked in, I said, bro, could you wipe down this bike so I can at least see what color it is? He goes, bro, what do I look like? Do I look like somebody that works in your house on the yard? Do it yourself. I said, wait a minute, I might buy it. I'm a customer. He said, bro, I don't have time. I'm sitting here working on my computer playing a video game. So it's kind of a thing, guys, where you can take a marketing approach too far, and I couldn't even read the labels on the bikes. What am I getting? Is it a $7,000 bike or is it a $200 bike? I don't know. I'm still confused. So I'm just going to have to say no to those guys. Now, the number 3 worst bike shop in San Jose is, of course, Lunacy. Now, Lunacy is actually kind of a fun place because what they've done over there, guys, is they've combined sort of a Chuck E. Cheese animatronic approach with a bicycle shop. So you don't actually deal with the real person. You talk to animatronics. And when you walk in, honestly, it's a little bit overwhelming because the sound is so loud. What they're doing is they're playing classic punk rock over the top of these animatronics, talking to you about the features of the bikes. So Lunacy really does capture what they're doing. And I don't really mind it so much because if I can get a good deal on a bike, I can put up with some BS. But the problem is when I went down there, I asked to test ride a bike. And one of the animatronics said, the only way we'll do that is if you let me stand on the spokes, because we can't just let you have a bike. You might ride away. So this is an animatronic. This is not a real person talking to me. This animatronic said, I have to stand on the spokes and hold on to the bike just in case you take off. And if you did, then I'm programmed to reach out and choke you until you run out of oxygen And you won't die, but you'll slow down enough that I can overtake you with my animatronic power, which is limited because, we don't want to be a danger, but we want to be able to effectively get our bikes back. And we might fall over and you might hit your head, and I'll cushion it with my animatronic hand just so your brain doesn't burst all over the sidewalk. Okay? But I'm looking at him. I'm looking at this animatronic kind of a character. It looked like a sailor. He kind of looked like a sailor that maybe worked for a while for the CIA, if you know what I mean, like a sailor spy. I'm looking at him like, I don't even really know what you're talking about. I'm not going to steal your bike, but it's too much. I'm out. And I walked out. So guys, go down there, maybe give it a try. Maybe it's good for you. I don't know. Now, the next one on our list is Trot. Now, Trot is really kind of a fun place because they have a big area where you can test the bikes. And what they want you to do is trot alongside the bike. They give you the bike you want to ride, and there's a velodrome there. You've seen that on the Olympics. It's a sort of an indoor track. And you trot alongside the bike till you get up to speed so that you can merge in with the other people that are testing bikes. Then you hop on and start pedaling. Okay, and if you don't get the trot right, they're not going to let you do it. And so you have to take it a 1-hour class in the proper way and the proper speed at which you should trot along before you merge onto the velodrome. And I don't know about you guys, but time is limited. And frankly, my time is worth almost the cost of the bike. So I just didn't want to learn how to trot just to test a bike. I kind of lost interest. Maybe it works for that company, but it wasn't for me. Now, the final one on our list is September. Now, September has an interesting marketing approach because they go for the back-to-school crowd. They're only open in September. Now, I had some relatives that were looking at bikes. They called me and said, hey, can you help us pick out a bike for our college kid? They're going to go to school, back to school. I said, sure, let's go down there. But the problem was that we purchased a bike on the second to the last day of September. And the next day, which is the last day of September, late afternoon, this college kid, and you know how they are. You know how college kids are. They're just, first of all, their brains aren't fully formed, right? And so their attention spans have been, hijacked by mass media their entire lives. So they can't focus on something for 10 seconds. And I get this call from my relative, and they said, hey, listen, he doesn't like the bike. He wants to return it. I said, well, this is the last day of September. This is the last day they're open. So I called the bike company, and I said, listen, September Bikes, I know this is the last day of September. Can I return a bike? The relative that I bought it for, he's one of these college kids, and you know how they are. They changed their mind. They don't like the bike. I'd like to bring it back, get my money back. And the laughter on the other end of the phone. And then this guy, you could tell he was wiping the tears from his eyes as he got back on the phone. And he said, listen, we close in 10 minutes. You're trying to return a bike on the last day we're open? So mid-laugh, I hear click. So now I'm stuck trying to tell my relative, too bad, bro, you gotta ride the bike that you bought. And as far as I heard from the parents of this college doofus, is that the bike just sits in the garage. So the marketing approach is up to the company, but for some reason it didn't work for me because we were stuck with the bike we didn't like. So guys, that's how I feel. Leave your opinion, leave a comment. Or if you know of good bike shops in San Jose, leave a comment as well, because when you do, you help lift the entire community together. Talk to you soon.